Guys, I have found a really important chart that we need to look at today. And if we are breaking out on this chart, you can ignore whatever Bitcoin is doing. I will show you exactly what this chart is and how we are approaching this. Let's go. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in here on this Sunday. I just need a second here. Okay, there we go. And I need to pop out the chat. Let's pop out the chat. So now I have popped out the chat. Guys, amazing how many people are again here. We are jumping directly into the CME chart. So we have currently a CME gap around $98,400 to $97,200. That's a $1,200 gap, more or less. I believe that this gap will be closed once CME is opening really quickly, because Bitcoin is looking a little bit bullish. I would say not too bullish, but just a little bit. So that it could get us this little push here to the upside before we are then potentially rolling over. So unless we push before the opening already up to this level and have no CME gap, which is of course also a possibility. I want to give you guys here one last chance before I jump into the Bitcoin chart. I have extended the 50% discount on my course for Cyber Monday, but tomorrow at midnight, my time, which is in, don't let me lie, which is in 29 hours. In 29 hours, this is going to expire, and I believe I will not going to do this for a really long time. So if you want to get my course at a 50% discount, there is a link pinned in the chat. Click on the link in the chat. All these free links redirect you directly to a payment website, depending on which course you want to buy. And then you send an email after you purchase the course with a screenshot of the confirmation to info@amcrypto.us, so that we can add you to the website, give you login details and everything. I will not write you in a DM and ask you to buy the course, so don't fall for any scams. This is the only link where you can get the 50% discount. Don't fall for any scammers. And then you send proof of payment to info@amcrypto.us, and my team is going to sort you out. So now let's get into Bitcoin here. So Bitcoin is currently a little bit, where did I say I'm not selling courses? I never said this. So Bitcoin is currently moving here to the upside slightly with a new 12-hourly candle. So this is still too early to say if this is potentially turning around or not. But the main thing is we are still below that upward sloping trend line here. The stochastic is not looking good. The RSI is going sideways. We are below that VPVR cluster, still massive resistance. So here we basically don't get just yet any kind of indication where we are heading, besides the fact that we are under resistance, and that should lead to potentially more downside. Now on the 1-hourly chart, things looking a little bit different. So here we are also still under that 1-hourly resistance horizontal level. I did not look at indicators. Let's have a quick look here how we are looking on the, basically only need the stochastic. So yeah, so that looks like that we are getting here a rejection on the 1-hourly chart based on how the stochastic is looking here. So that rejection could bring us all the way back down to $95,600. From there, we need to see if we get further down movement or not, based here on this 1-hourly chart. I think the key to that is again on the liquidity. When we have a look at where liquidity is sitting, that might give us a better clue what's going to happen here in the short term. So here on the MDX Algo scalp gradient, also here we are still under resistance, under that golden ratio. No, now we are currently in that golden ratio, but also this is not really bullish, because we have tried to stay within that golden ratio here for over 30 hours, and only the last 4-hourly candle pushed us back into it. The current 4-hourly candle can still roll over and get us out of it again, and then lead to more continuation to the downside into that big order block here, where we have some buy orders all the way from $96 to $94,700. The reactor indicator is also not looking too bullish. You could argue that the period that we are seeing currently is the same that we had over here in terms of the reactor indicator, where we had here a long extended purple phase where price was also kind of like chopping sideways. And then we went again into a hotter phase, price accelerated, went here into higher levels. So this is something that I'm currently looking at. Of course, just because it happened in the past doesn't mean that it has to repeat itself, especially when we are at such a crucial resistance currently. Here on ZoomX, I still have my trades open, did not change anything. Guys, if you want to trade on ZoomX, there is a link in the description. Don't forget, I have the trading competition going, which is actually doing well. I'm going to show the trade that we just opened in Telegram a couple of minutes ago. So doing really, really well. You still get sign-up bonuses, so make use of the link in the description for that. Now, when I go to the 4-hourly chart and look at the liquidation levels, here what I see is that more and more people try to short the high $90,000 levels all the way up to $100,000. We have now more high leverage from $97,500 to $98,300, 50x and 100x positions that have built up there. But also here, just below the price, from $95,200 to $94,000. Also here, more and more people start taking over-leveraged long positions. So here, again, that's just my experience. What without looking at the next liquidity chart, what could be potentially happening because of the CME gap is that we get up here, take this liquidity out, this one here, maybe even go all the way up here, and then we go down and take everything else. Now, let's have a look over here. What happened over the last month, because there. So also, yeah. So here, pretty neutral how this is looking. So that can go either way. Based on the brightness where we have the most liquidity sitting right now, you would argue that we need to go first to the upside before we can go anywhere to these lower levels. But the problem is that the higher time frames, the daily and the weekly, they're heavily overextended. They're completely overbought. So they need to come down at some point. Exactly what I mentioned yesterday, where I said this can maybe go on for a couple more days, maybe 5 days, 7 days. You know, we have also super high funding rates across the board. But at some point, that big flush is coming. And the leverage has to get flushed. It happens in every bull run. There's no exception, and this run is also no exception. It's happening every single time. Maybe the timing is off, but it's going to happen. You know, 5 to 7 days, in my opinion, then that flush is coming. Now, on the weekly chart, Bitcoin looks extremely bullish with the current weekly candle, if we close it the way that it currently is. But like I said yesterday, there is the possibility that the next week goes down like this at some point, and then it's not looking so bullish anymore, because then we have a bearish reversal pattern, which would indicate that this might be a local top, and then we're gonna chop sideways for a while before we get another leg to the upside. So the bullish scenario is that we just keep pushing to the upside, and somewhere up here get that flush to the downside. And then of course it will be higher than what I currently expect to be here, somewhere in that golden ratio of around $89,000. So then on Bybit, also something that I want to show you guys. So not only can you get currently the $500 airdrop position if you deposit $100 on any of these coins here, which is still going on for another 17 and a half days. Really easy to claim. Deposit $100, claim the airdrop voucher in the rewards hub, use the voucher, all the profits belong to you. And like I said, I'm trading many of these coins. We're gonna talk also about most of these coins. But Bybit has also right now a 6 years anniversary special going on. There's also a link for that in the description. You just need to scroll a little bit to see it. And here you see you can get here daily ranking rewards, you know, so they have here a lot of airdrops going on. So take advantage of that if you don't have yet a Bybit account. Because you might get a lot of free money there, you know, so by just doing some simple tasks on Bybit. So here the Bitcoin dominance is bouncing now a little bit from the 57.15% level that I mentioned yesterday. So here, that scenario where I thought first that this is going to happen over here. This is not going away, guys. You know, so this is not going away. It just is going to happen a little bit lower then, you know. So, but this is still the pattern that has to happen on the dominance before we are going in a full-fledged altcoin season, you know. So now we are getting this bounce. Let's see what's going to happen tomorrow. If we get tomorrow here a green candle to the upside, you know already, you know, the whole market is going to suffer. So, but what is the chart that I was looking at earlier that could potentially change all of that by potentially tonight or even tomorrow? So the chart that I was looking at is the total free, because total free is currently at the last bit of resistance before it will go and attempt a run into the prior all-time high. So that means we're going to add another $100 billion in liquidity into the market before we get a rejection. And that means many, many altcoins will start to run at that point, you know. So because actually more, it's $300 billion that can still get injected into the market if we close today above that level here of $984 billion approximately over the next couple of days. So, and that's why I'm looking at some altcoins that we can potentially trade in that run, but only if we are managing to close above this level and stay above that level. If I see that on the daily chart, we are getting here now a red candle to the downside by tomorrow, no point in entering anything, because that might be the beginning of the big pullback that we are waiting. And at some point over the next couple of days, you see then the acceleration happening. And by acceleration, I mean a really, really bad red candle to the downside, something like this, you know. So it might not happen tomorrow, just for the simple fact that we go down a little bit, you know, maybe also not after tomorrow, where we still go down just a little bit, but maybe then on Wednesday or on Thursday, you know, so who knows. But if we are not able to print another green candle here to the upside on the daily chart by tomorrow, I think here might be the short-term top for the total free market cap, and from that a reversal is going to be happening. If not, we get another $300 billion injected in the market to run to the all-time high, and then we are getting the flush, which means we have a couple more days time where we can make insane money. So now, when I look at Ethereum is still at resistance here. We are close to $3,700, but Ethereum is struggling to break above that level to move here into the next bigger resistance of 3,825 and 3,867. Also, the indicators looking like that we are about to roll over here at any moment. The RSI is printing still a bearish divergence with prices creating higher highs, but the RSI creating lower highs. That has not changed. Also here, tomorrow, maximum in the next 24 hours, we know exactly in which direction the market is actually heading, because with today's daily close, we see if we get here a sell signal and if the RSI is rolling over, and then we kind of already know the same with the total free. On the Ethereum Bitcoin chart, this looks definitely bullish here. This will also not change much, in my opinion, until we are closing the weekly. So that is, regardless of what's happening here in the coming week, that is a reversal pattern. So even if next week we get here a red candle back to the downside to like 0.035, it doesn't matter, because the following weeks you only see this thing going up. You know, so once that one flush is done, you see this thing just going higher and higher and higher, and that will also propel Ethereum into higher prices and every coin that's built on the Ethereum layer. So Solana on the 4-hourly chart, not able to reclaim the EMA ribbon. Currently, the indicators are set up in a bullish way, where you could argue, okay, maybe we get a retest here at this downward sloping resistance line, maybe even break it to the upside and go a little bit higher. But when I go to the daily chart, then this is not looking all too bullish, because we are oversold on the stochastic, the MACD is bearish, and the RSI is also slightly going down while we are here under this massive resistance on the daily chart. So this can still go lower and also flush to the downside before this is reversing back to the upside. So also here, currently Solana, I'm not interested to open any new trades on Solana. before the higher time frames changing direction, or we are breaking this downward sloping trend here. Then GRT also really close to resistance here at the 30.6 cent level. So could we go up here? The, what is this, 4%? Yes, we can still go up here and touch that level before we roll over. But no point in opening to open here a trade. I'm more interested anything below 23.5 cents to long it from here, or even all the way back down to 21 cents once this is flushing to the downside. So unless it breaks here this level and close and gets you some consolidation, then I would open a trade from here. But as long as that's not happening, especially the way that the indicators are looking right now, not interested whatsoever. Then Uni, I'm still in my Uni trade actually, because we are consolidating here around that resistance. And earlier, the 4-hourly chart was looking actually a little bit more bullish. The indicators are not a big problem per se right now, because we are under resistance, and then they give sometimes false signals. Let's see how the 1-hourly looks like. The 1-hourly, yeah, so here on the 1-hourly, we're about to turn around, get a buy signal. RSI is bullish, MACD is still somewhat bullish. So as soon as we are getting here a 1-hourly close, a solid 1-hourly close above the $13 mark, that should start printing, because we have here also that bullish pennant that should technically still break out here by tomorrow at some point. And then we will go up at least to $13.90, maybe even $14 or a little bit higher than that, because I think the higher time frames still have room. Yeah, here the daily can still print 1 giga candle to the upside into that resistance here. So I'm not saying that you should open a trade right now on Uni, only because I'm in that, you know. So it's a risky trade, guys. You have to understand this, you know. And also, I only trade with 5% of my trading account in that position. I'm not putting my house on it, you know. So if you want to trade this, be really, really careful, guys. Then the next one, Optimism, also here at resistance. Not interested currently unless we are breaking $2.49 and close the daily, at least a 4-hourly candle above that. Then I could also see that we get like one last move here, a scam move, close to $3 somewhat. Yeah, here to $2.90 actually. Here's some resistance at $2.90. And then it's going to roll over. So, but of course, that is still a juicy trade, you know. So if we manage to close a daily above $2.49-ish, I would potentially take this trade with a tight stop loss at $2 here, basically at the 1.5 level at $2.37. Then the next one, SUI. So I'm also still in my SUI trade. That's the other trade that I have 5% of my portfolio running on Bybit. So here we broke now the downward sloping trend line. I want to see if that is actually a solid break, or if we have too many touch points. Still not a break yet. So if we break here above $3.46, move up like 0.8%, then we will break it definitely here on the 4-hourly chart. So the 4-hourly chart is looking actually good here for continuation to the upside. Remember what I said, guys, SUI is one of the coins that does not care what Bitcoin is doing and will just do its thing. You know, if this wants to run higher, it will run higher. So, and that's why I'm still holding this trade, because I still believe that there is a chance before the whole market is turning around that this can run to $3.85 or even into the $4 level. So that's why I'm still in this trade. Then Telegram, so here, like I said yesterday, we sniped the take profit point here. So there's no reason to enter this right now. We are consolidating here in that big supply cluster currently, where we have a lot of sell orders. Here we can still easily turn around. You know, you look at the daily chart, we print a doji candle, a lower high. This can still come down here back to like the $6 mark. If we get one more time a ton below $6, I would buy as much as I can, you know. So if we ever get this again, so, but I rather think it comes down to like $6, $6.20-ish, and that would be a big area where I would just add to my position. Then Render consolidating here on the 4-hourly chart. this might also still run here all the way up to $10 before this is coming down. That's why I have a close eye on render here, what's happening in that demand area that is currently trading in. If I see here a break above $9, I'm also definitely going to open a position. Otherwise, if it pulls back here all the way back down to, what is this, $7.70, that will be the first level if we start breaking down, where I will be looking to start building a position on render. So, but if it starts to break out here, I might take that last move here in direction of $10 with me. So, which is a 14% move or something. Yeah, almost 12%, almost 12% from $9. So, which is fine. So, then the next one is AVI. Like I said, if we close here the weekly now above that $200 level, I will open a position, because that can then run really easily in the next 2 weeks to $260. That's almost a 30% move, and that is definitely one of the altcoins that that can run really, really quickly, really, really high. Look here over here, how fast that was running from $75 to $585. That was in a matter of 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. So I'm not expecting that we are running that fast back to the upside, but definitely a coin that I, in the short term, want to have a trade on. In the long term, not so much interested in this project anymore, so there's not much happening on it. But in the short term, definitely something that I'm going to look at. So here with Rune, also currently at weekly resistance. As you can see, we got rejected from $6.40. We are kind of no man's land. So either we come back to $5.28 on the weekly chart, and here we are also already overextended. The RSI is the only thing that's bullish here still, and not overbought. But unless we are breaking here $6.40 on the weekly chart, also not really interested to get into this, because we are at resistance here. The next one also, that theta ran all the way into my take profit point that I had of $3.11. I closed this trade way too early because of that rising wedge. But it's fine, because on the higher time frames, this is also looking like that it's coming down. Look here, we are here in this big order block. We ran here all the way up to $3.16. There is some resistance, reversed from there now to the downside. So also here I expect that this is coming down first before this is going to run again. And wherever theta is going to bottom, which I expect to be happening around $2.32 or $2.05 in that range, I'm going to open a new position and trade this then to the upside. Then here, Arbitrum also still fighting with the 97-cent level. On the higher time frames, not looking all too good unless we are closing a 4-hourly candle above 97 cents. Then it will definitely still move up here to $1.15. And also then I'm going to open a trade, because this is still a 19% move here before we are turning around. But I want to remind you again, all eyes on total free, guys. All eyes on total free. If total free is not able to close above $984 billion today, don't open any trades. So you might still get then 3, 4, 5, maybe 8% on some coins. But if we are not able to close bullish above that level, most likely everything is going to pull back next week. Then here, we've also in a resistance area currently. Not interested, even though we got this downward sloping trend line break. So if you want to accumulate on spot, I would still buy here. So I would buy all the way up to $33. There I would stop accumulating. But until then, I would still accumulate on a spot portfolio. But also here, the indicators all look like they want to turn around. So you might get it way, way cheaper. And I would set limit orders for my spot backs at $21 to $19. And also some long positions down there, because we did not have a retest of this downward sloping trend line. And that usually happens, especially in a bull run. We might not get all the way down to that trend line, by close to it, somewhere here maybe, and then it starts running, it's basically front running you. But it usually pulls back, so after a breakout. So and that's why I'm not definitely buying that currently. If we break here $27.60, okay, so then I'm ready to buy at a higher price. But until then, it's kind of no man's land, and I want to see how far this is going to pull back here. Then Phantom still under this downward sloping resistance line. Also here, nothing has really changed unless we are breaking this to the upside. So here, I'm also still waiting, and it looks like, look at this here. We are printing lower high after lower high. All lower highs here over the last, what is this, 5 days that we are printing here. So this is change of structure, guys. You know, so it means that we are potentially going lower. So the first stop is here 95 to 92 cents, and then potentially lower if we get it to 84 cents. You know, so I'm not changing my limit orders that I have down here. So let me have a quick look here at Tau. Which chart do I gonna use for that? The GRT chart, actually. Let's see, Tau. Tau is definitely sending overall. So for hourly chart, this can, on the 4-hourly chart, that can still go higher. That can still go higher. This can easily go back here to $683. One more time. Let's see the higher time frames. Yeah, but on the higher time frames, no, I would not open here a position. So because it has hit resistance here at 683, now I see it. So there's a big resistance that it hit. Unless that is broken, I would not open a new position on Tau. So that is too dangerous. Too dangerous unless that is broken. And to the downside, you know, so there's like almost a 10% pullback to the next support level. You know, so here's some support. So that is, okay, this is a 5% move. But if the whole market is pulling back now next week, you might get it all the way down here again at $534 from current levels. So, and that is an 18% move to the downside before this is then finding support and bouncing back. So I was here at Phantom. So then Dot is the trade that I had given in a Telegram chat for everybody in the competition. So we are still here in nice profits, actually. Let me show it to you guys. So here I'm almost $22. Yeah, now I'm $22 in profit. We have a stop loss in profit currently. You can see it here above our entry, just in case that this turns on us. But here the 4-hourly chart is looking good for continuation. And as long as we are holding here this upward sloping trend, we should be fine. You know, so but the problem is here that dashed line is the stop loss. So we need to move away from that a little bit, you know. So, but once we start moving away, we hit already our take profit. So here, I believe that Dot will actually come at any given point over the next couple of days, all the way up here to fill that wick at $10.50, and potentially then rolls over again, depending on what the rest of the market is doing. So then FXS, one of the other coins that still might push you a little bit higher, between $3.93 to $4.92 before this is going down, because here the chart is still extremely bullish. Here's no divergence yet. The stochastic is about to print another buy signal, which will send us at least to $3.90 by tomorrow. And I think the 4-hourly chart, no, the 4-hourly chart looks like it's going to pull back. Also the 1-hourly chart. So short term it might pull back, but I believe here in the next 48 hours, it might come all the way up here into that resistance, you know, because in between there is not really a lot of resistance anymore, you know, so there's nothing stopping that coin to move all the way up here. Then the next one is ICP that I have currently an eye on. Also here we got a buy signal, but the RSI is going down because we are here in a big supply zone currently on the daily. Also here we are pretty high at resistance. So also here, with that doji candle, most likely tomorrow we get a pullback candle, at least into the golden ratio. And then we need to see if we are bouncing from there or not. So then the next one. So here, Comp, you saw what happened yesterday with Curve after I gave you that trade. It went absolutely bananas. So I think Comp might be one of the next coins that's doing something like that. So here is now my warning, guys. Don't be degenerates again and now gamble like crazy on a coin where I believe that is potentially repeating something that I've seen before, you know, so don't do that. And especially to the people that leverage that with 10x leverage, that is just blatantly stupid, guys, you know. So you saw how quick that went up. It could have gone also as fast as it went up to the downside, you know. So don't use 10x leverage on something like this. You know, there's no need for that. So, but here you need still to wait for the break of that downward sloping trend line. But look how far from where this is coming. This is a 2.5 years downward sloping trend that we are potentially breaking at any day. So once that is broken, I definitely gonna start opening a small position here, because not only will this go back into the next resistance here of $122, that was way higher in the past, you know. So comp was, where was that? Like $500-600 so here. So the all-time high was here at $912. I'm not expecting that it runs all the way back to the all-time high from where it is now, but $400 might be something that where we are going to, you know, $320-400. That might be some levels that Com wants to run to, you know, so which is like a 4 to 5x from current levels. But I wait for that break, you know, because we could still get rejected, and I maybe get lucky enough to buy this below $60 for that run to the upside. So that's why I'm waiting for that break before I pull the trigger here. But once we are breaking, I'm gonna open a small position. And by small, I mean, personally, I put not more than like $1,000 on that trade, you know, and I keep scaling into this the higher we go, you know. So every time when we break here resistance level all the way up to $100, I'm gonna add $1,000, $2,000 more into that trade, and then I let it run over the course of the whole bull run, or until it actually hits the take profit point. Another coin is Injective. Injective is also one of the coins where I'm waiting for a bigger break to the upside. So you see we are really close here to $31.70 approximately. Once we are breaking this level, Injective will also print some really nice pump candles to the upside, you know. So, and we had an all-time high close to $50 here. I think that was the all-time high, yeah, $54. Once that is broken, Injective is going to run to $100. So also here I'm getting ready to open some long positions if we are breaking basically $32. If we're not breaking and we are pulling back and I get a chance to open here between $22 and $24, then that's where I'm going to open in these positions. Then the other one is Casper. So here again, Casper doesn't really care that much what Bitcoin is doing. We have here a rounding bottom on Casper. Technically here a small handle for a cup and handle, if that is not extending. And we are breaking above the former resistance level currently. So, and here on the 4-hourly chart, the stochastic looks like that we are printing soon a buy signal, while everything else is pointing to the upside here. So Casper might be also one of the coins that I might to get some exposure on leverage. But again, I will not use more than like 3-5x, you know, with like $3,000-4,000 before we have broken here 18 cents. You know, so I just let it run on leverage with that small position until 18 cents. I will be then massively in the money already, and then I can add some more money and set my stop losses in a way that I will actually not lose anymore. You know, so on that specific trade here. On the higher time frames, also let's have a look here how this is looking. Yeah, you see here, this has bottomed out. The RSI is in bullish territory. So this can go higher, you know. So if we don't get a move to the downside here and print here also local top, this might just keep moving to the upside. So again, I only enter these positions by tomorrow if the total free market cap is above $984 billion. Otherwise, I will be really, really careful with any trades. So now I'm gonna have a look on EOS, because I saw that actually today that a lot of people were talking about this, that this is breaking out. So I want to have a look at that. I'm actually not sure do I have any EOS. I think I bought EOS in the past. So there's also EOS on leverage. So let's see here on the 4-hourly chart. Yeah, this is topping out currently on the 4-hourly chart. Also here, you know, so consolidating on the 1-hourly chart. So consolidation is fine, you know, consolidation is fine, but here, before it breaks the $13, I would not get into another position. And to the downside, look here, the next level of support is 87 cents. here is a major level of support. There's no other level of support, at least one, not a big one, you know, so 87 cents. So this can easily come down all the way back down to 87 cents, you know. So that's why I would be careful with that. I would not open a position. So if I would look for a short-term trade, so then I would look at something like this. So here also, at least pull back to $1.07 for a scalp, you know, where I would enter, and I would add more if we hold $1.03, but I would have a stop loss at $1, you know. So that's short-term. How I would trade is based on the 1 hourly chart. You see now it's already moving down here, something like this, you know. So and you have your stop loss at $1, so you would not lose too much if that trade is going against you. But again, not crazy leverage, you know, not 10, 20, 50x on a trade like that, you know. Just because the 4 hourly is heavily overextended. But on the daily there is still room for like a day or two to move a little bit higher. So XRP, let's have a look at XRP. Is it already $2 or not? It was so close. Oh wait, wrong chart. So let's see here. Still. Was at $1.96. So remember, guys, what I told you the last time when I looked at XRP, where we were like at $1, I don't know, $1.78 or something, where I said if it breaks $1.80 or 81 it was, I cannot remember. I have to go now and look on the weekly chart where it was. So here, there. So $1.70. So it was $1.70, where I said to you guys, if we break $1.70, it just keeps pumping, you know. So and maybe I think it was at $1.70 where I said this. So here you see we are 13% higher since then. We were here almost 15% higher since then. You know, so that was a no-brainer for me, because that was a really big resistance level for XRP, and we have not been there for over 3 years. You know, so that's why I said if we break it, you know, so we are going to send to the upside. So currently I would not enter this, because also here we are topping out at $1.96. It's pulling back currently, but here at $1.64 and a little bit lower here, $1.53. So these might be two levels where I would look for a potential long on XRP. So you're on the weekly chart. Yeah, weekly chart might also pull back here. 12 hourly chart. Yeah, printing sell signal. So here you see, you know, so $1.50. There's now some buy order block. So it would make sense, you know. So if we pull back into this order block or close to it before we reverse back to the upside. So then KDA, I cannot remember if I ever looked at this. Do I have some chart here? No, I have nothing here. This is on the 12 hour only not looking really bad. See on the daily, it's also not looking too bad. This might actually send. So this might actually send soon. So here I would wait. Oh, it's actually above that trend line already. So this might keep pumping to the upside. So how much is this up today? How much is this up? Is it up? No, it's 4% down today. So the problem that I would actually ignore the stochastic, because the RSI is bullish, the MACD is bullish. This might get another run to like $1.30. So which is like, I don't know, 8% or something from current levels. 10%. Yeah, a 10% run to the upside. So the reason for that is also here the doji candle. So if tomorrow's candle starts pumping to the upside, it might just go here to $1.30, you know. So, and if that candle stays green here, you know, the candle can stay as it is, but it should be green. And tomorrow's candle slightly starting out to pump here to the upside, then it might just keep going to the upside, because the lower time frames are also lined up for continuation to the upside. So let's actually have a quick look at Doge 2. Yeah, if this keeps going here, I might get trigger happy on this one. So let's have a look here. Do I have Doge over here? No, I have Doge over here. You know, guys, when I looked at HNT, I saw that when I was waking up this morning, when I was like at 2%, you know, and I was like, this looks like it wants to go today, you know, so should I trade it, should I not trade it? And I did not, you know, and I fumbled it. I hate that when it's happening, you know. I did not even look at the chart. I only had a feeling it's going today, and I should have bought it, you know, and I didn't. So here, Doge. So Doge has already taken all these levels out. So this is still in a consolidation range for me. Yeah, so as long as it's here in this block, you know, it's just ranging. So if it breaks here above 44 cents, it will start to go higher. So the indicators, they're bottoming out on the 4-hourly chart. Let's see how this looks on the daily. On the daily, it looks not so good based on the stochastic. How it looks on the 12-hourly. 12-hourly also doesn't look good. So this looks like it's going to pull back to like at least 40 cents, 38 cents, something like that, before this keeps going higher. So here I would also be careful. So quick look actually on CRV. It's not pumping anymore, so which I expected after that run yesterday, because it just went too high. Yeah, see here, huge topping candle on CRV currently. So I actually made a little bit money, but I was way too late to that trade, you know. So I made some money yesterday in the night, today I cannot remember. But CRV, that is the short-term top in my opinion. Now it will come back. It will pull back. Let's see on the 4-hourly chart. So yeah, so this is going to pull back in my opinion to like 60 cents, you know. So if we get the Bitcoin drop that we are waiting for, then it might pull all the way back to like 47 cents. And there I'm gonna have a limit order with like $2,000 to trade this past the dollar back to the upside. So that's how I'm gonna play this. So I don't care if I get it or not, you know. So I'm just gonna put here a limit order. If it gets triggered, amazing, you know. If not, then not, and then I will just enter higher, depending on how low we are pulling back here now. Guys, I have unfortunately to run. We have 42 minutes here in the stream. Thank you so much for tuning in again. Don't forget, smash up the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and I hope to see you with more money on the side tomorrow.